All right, we are back with another pick'em video, and we're going to go over our best plays for the NBA today. A little 4-game slate, so don't go too crazy, but definitely seeing some value out there. Actually, one of those days where I get on and some plays are just popping out to me that look really good. And we're going to break them all down. It's not just what I think, but we want to look at the market value. We want to look at the hit rates. We want to look at the matchups and all those different things. That's how we break plays down over here. And eventually going to give you guys 4 plays, plus it's Taco Tuesday over on PrizePicks. You always want to be taking advantage of those discounts that they're giving out. That just means we're getting positive EV. That's something you want to strive for as, trying to be a profitable sports bettor. And so we're going to get into for today. As for yesterday, we ended up going 3-1 in the video picks. We had Jared Allen over his first half PRA. He crushed that. Kyle Kuzma wasn't looking too great, but ended up catching fire, hitting 3 threes in a row on back-to-back possessions, which was pretty sweet. And he got there with 25 points. I think he actually exited with an injury potentially in that game as well. And then DeAndre Ayton snuck over for 12 rebounds and assists. He had 12 exactly. We had him at 11.5. And Sacramento blew away with that win at the end of that one. The only loss was Julian Champagnie over 1.5 3-pointers. He only got one, didn't shoot very effectively. Did end up getting 6 threes up, which is kind of what we were expecting, but ended up going 1 for 6. So not a horrible read there, just couldn't capitalize on the attempts. But again, really liking the board, what I'm seeing from today. If you're new around here, definitely go ahead and subscribe. If you're anyone around here, hit the like button, comment something down below. It just tells YouTube push this guy's video out a little bit more. He knows what he's talking about. He's giving out winners, and I kind of want to show that in the screen right here. So I've been tracking all of my NBA plays this year. Nice to do for at the beginning of the year. I missed the first day, maybe the first 2 days because I was out of the country. But since then, we've had a nice 60.3% weighted hit rate. So if I take into account discounts, I'm not going to count that as a full win. I'm also not going to count that as a full loss. It's kind of in like the half realm, just because if you don't want to be taking advantage of discounts, you kind of get screwed over when they don't hit. And when they do hit, obviously you want to be taking advantage of those, but that's not like a full win. So you can see the hit rate here. It is a little bit weighted, so you might be looking to the math and saying that's not the right math. But we've been doing really good. Anything over 55% is what we're going to need to be profitable in the long run when taking advantage of these fixed payout systems like Underdog, PrizePicks, and Betr. Those are the 3 that I'm looking at here. And it's 55% because they take a little bit. You need to be hitting at a bit higher than a 50% hit rate to be profitable. And whether you're doing 2-mans or 5-mans or 6-mans, it does matter a little bit. So in terms of my equation, I do slip in some 2-mans here. It's more of a strategic play whenever I do it, but I do focus on the higher hitting slips because those are the mathematically most advantageous types of plays. So yeah, we've been crushing it. I'm going to do this all season, and maybe even going to show these in all the videos. So we've been doing really well, and let's just get right into the plays. Again, I got 4 of them, plus the taco that we'll talk about a little bit. And then just a little bit on this graph. We went 14-7 yesterday. One of them was a discounted loss that actually sold a 4-man over on Betr, which sucked. So one of those 7 losses was a discounted play. So that takes into account all of those for a nice 68.3% hit rate, which is awesome. Again, anything over 55, we're going to be mathematically profitable in the long run. So that's always what we're going to be striving for. And a nice 50-32 record on the season. There is one push in there. Those don't really count in the hit rate for a 60.3% hit rate. So we're on track to be nice profitable like we were last year. I just wanted to clarify what this graph is a little bit showing. So let's go into the PrizePicks board here. First of all, I got Cam Thomas and Jamal Murray. That's going to be the first play. Over 4.5 3-pointers made. Anytime I see these combo lines that are possible for one of these guys to do it by themselves, I always want to be looking into them, and that's what we're going to be doing today. I also want to point out, just because it's on the board, Anthony Edwards is going to be the first taco here at 22.5. He said in all 5 of his last games. That doesn't mean too much to me, but I do like to see he's jacking up a lot of threes, and he's going up against Dallas, which allows a whole bunch of threes. So Anthony Edwards over his points does look pretty good for that first taco. Let's jump into Outlier. This is one of my partners of the channel. Any of these tools that I'm using are showing, if you're like, dang, that thing looks like an awesome tool, which they all are, you can actually get a discount or some sort of free trial or some sort using my code. So check out the links in the description. Use my link. It just lets them know that I sent you there, which is awesome. And I get a little bit kickback my way if you guys continue on with the platform or tool. And Outlier is one of the awesome ones. A free week, you can't really beat that. If you do sign up for this as well, maybe comment something down below, get in touch with me somehow, and I'll get you a free week of my Discord as well. So that goes hand in hand. But Outlier is awesome. We're going to take a look at Jamal Murray's threes and then Cam Thomas's threes. So Jamal's line set at 1.5. It's juiced on the over, so expecting 2 is kind of what the books are saying. 68% hit rate last year. I will say this year, he hasn't been doing too hot in terms of his scoring. He has not looked great. The Nuggets in general haven't looked great, eking out a win in overtime against the Raptors yesterday, who they're banged up and not very good anyway. But he's still gone over this in 2 of 3 games, 2, 3, and 0 3-pointers on 4.3 attempts. So he's shooting pretty good percentages that, hopefully attempts go up to around 5 or 6 of what he was doing last year. And against the Nets last year, he hit this in both games. Again, got 4 by himself last year in a game against the Nets and 2 in the other game. So someone that, again, can set fire, can hit 5 threes in a game by himself. This is something I definitely want to look into. And then Cam Thomas, we're just getting added bonus here. A guy in the Nets that has the absolute green light. He shoots a ton. He's hit 7 threes already in a game this year on 13 attempts. Did come down a little bit with only 5 and 8 attempts, but still hit 3 and 2 in those other games. So hopefully Cam can get there for a couple 3-pointers for us. But the combo together is kind of really, really why I like this line. With, again, one of these guys potentially getting over this line just by themselves. What really stuck out to me on this one is I found it using DG Fantasy. This is a market value tool, and it's integrated with all your favorite platforms, Underdog, PrizePicks, Betr, whatever you want to be going on. You can just click the tab and it's integrated again, so they'll know exactly what lines are on the board right now. And it's going to tell you, hey, based on market value, these are the lines, this is what you should be doing. And this is a pretty good hit rate, or percent odds to hit, 52.98, practically 53% chance based on DG Fantasy. They're saying over. A lot of these books, you'll see the numbers here. It's hard to calculate the combos, but a lot of these books are favoring the over on this line if you consider the combo. And then going into the RotoWire projection model, one of my favorite models out there in terms of projections. They've been doing it forever. They're very much in the fantasy sports realm, so they know all the different stats and things like that. They're expecting 2.34 threes from Cam Thomas. And then if you look at Jamal Murray, they're expecting, I might have to go to, sleeper. Where's his 3-pointers? Right here, 1.5. They're expecting 2.82. If you add those together, that's like 5.4, almost closer to 5.5. And all we need is 5 for them to cash. So all things kind of pointing in the right direction here. Again, market value is absolutely huge. These companies know what they're talking about. That's why they set their lines at certain things. They got algorithms, they got experts, and they know what they're talking about, probably even better than I do or any one of you do, just because they got the resources to do so. So everything pointing in the right direction here for that Cam and Jamal line. And again, kind of just when you look at it and you're like, okay, again, Jamal can get 4 threes. Cam Thomas could easily get 4 or 5 threes. Considering both of them together, it's just kind of an added bonus there. So really liking this combo line for the first play of the day. And then moving along to our second play here, Malik Monk over 3.5 assists. Obviously, Sacramento has brought in DeMar DeRozan. Malik Monk's minutes, though, have not really fluctuated as much as you might think. He's still the main guy off their bench. He's an absolute spark plug off that bench. And he can run the offense. He can score whenever he needs to. And he's been hitting this even with DeMar DeRozan in the lineup. Again, getting around 24 minutes as opposed to last year's 26 minutes. And this one just seems a little bit too low considering his hit rate from last year, considering he's hit it in 2 of 3 games this year. So really liking this play. So let's just jump into it. So going to his outlier page, I talked about his hit rate. 76% of games last year he went over this line. So really, really like to see that. They are on a back-to-back, but that doesn't seem to affect them much. Going to back-to-backs, they actually have a 75% hit rate. So that hasn't affected him much. Monk's still a younger guy, and it's got that spark. He's not super tired on these back-to-backs. And Sacramento's got a very easy matchup here against Utah. As you can see, assists allowed, 30th ranked, 29.8 assists to be had. And again, dating back to last year, 2 games against the Jazz last year, 7 and 8 assists in those games. And it's not like he was playing a ton of minutes. 24.6 minutes in those games, 23 and 26, and was able to rack up 7 and 8 assists. In terms of this year, again, like I mentioned, gone over in 2 of 3 games this year. Didn't get a ton of playing time in that game against Portland, but that was kind of a blowout there. Only 18 minutes as opposed to 26 and 27 minutes in those first 2 games. So I'm not really too worried about his minutes. This is a 6.5 point spread, but like we just mentioned Sacramento on a back-to-back. Maybe they keep this thing a little bit more close. And in games last year where it was a 6.5 point spread and they won, that includes blowouts, 86% hit rate last year from Malik Monk. So really, really liking this line. Another one where market value also pointing in the right direction. You'll never see me go to a play that's not on, or you'll never see me go to a play on PrizePicks that the market value is not liking, that we're taking advantage of. Those are always the lines you want to be attacking on, a fixed payout system like PrizePicks. I'm not going to take a plus money play on PrizePicks. It just makes absolutely no sense. But Malik Monk, they're saying 53.34% chance to hit. I love to see that. All these other sports books, minus 142, heavily favoring this, and I can see that a little bit more on the Odds Jam Sportsbook stream. These are all whatever, like I've taken away some of them just because there's so many data points, but they give you all the data points for all the sports books you can even think of. And again, average sportsbook odds minus 129.4 as opposed to the minus 105.4 on the under here. So all these books heavily favoring the over. Again, you're going to see minus 119, minus 129 on the over and the under on PrizePicks and Betr. That's because they're fixed payout systems. Underdog looks like they just yanked this line from Underdog because it seems too high. Minus 151 on the over on parlay play. Minus 126 on Pinnacle. All these sports books heavily favoring the over. Last but not least, the RotoWire projection model. They're also favoring. We don't always agree, but this one really liking it. Hit rate looks good. Pick'em site sportsbooks, you'll see that's a little bit blue as well because we just talked about that value we're getting. And they're predicting 4.41. So this Malik Monk one, probably one of my favorite lines of the day. And again, he's getting 24 to 26 minutes. That's all we need. And he crushed this line against Utah last year. So really liking Malik Monk for the second play of the day. And then moving right along here, actually in the same game and another assist line, Keontay George under 5.5 assists. I still think Colin Sexton is the best guard on this team. They run Keontay George a bunch of minutes. He's probably going to get around 30 or so, especially if this one stays close. But Keontay has never really hit this line consistently, dating back to last year, dating back to this year, and against Sacramento specifically, he really has struggled to get assists. So staying chronologically here, Keontay in the same game, under 5.5. Let's take a look. Going to his outlier page, under in 68% of games last year. So I do obviously like to see that. 27 minutes on average last year, obviously getting a little bit more time this year, but still under in 2 of the 3 games. Did sneak over with 7. This was against Memphis early on in the year, but stayed relatively easily under against Golden State and stayed just under against Dallas. And again, a lot of minutes, 30 or so minutes. So his minutes are up from last year, but I do like to see the 2 head-to-head games last year. And again, one of these games he played 36, 37 minutes, only 2 in both those games against Sacramento. So loving to see that. Also in games that they lost by 6 or more points, still around a 65% hit rate. So that's something to look at. And also considering, going back to this, it is a home game. Do guys shoot a little bit better at home? Yes, but still under in 67% of games last year when you're considering his home versus away. So Keontay, really good hit rate this year, good hit rate last year. Head-to-head's looking really good as well. Going into his market value, assists, actually rebounds and assists also very favored on the under. I do prefer the assist line as just in general. But yeah, a lot of books very heavily favoring this, even more than the Malik Monk line. Minus 134 on PrizePicks is ridiculous. This will probably get yanked down eventually. If it does go to 5, you could probably still take it. If he gets 5, it's going to be a push for you guys, but still for me in the Discord or for anyone that gets it at 5.5, it'll be a win for us. And I think he stays under this 5.5 mark, 5 mark, whatever you get it at. But yeah, a lot of books, minus 137 on Pinnacle, I really like to see. And everyone else really around minus 130 or, minus 154 over on Sleeper. Last data point over to RotoWire projection model. They really like the just exactly the line where it's at. They're expecting 5.49, so that is slightly under this 5.5 mark. But again, considering the hit rate, considering where other sportsbooks are at, really liking this one. And again, me and the RotoWire projection model don't always agree, but again, they are technically agreeing here at 5.49. So staying in that same game, Keontay George under 5.5 assists. Maybe again, if you're betting on this one, this is the game to watch. Could be potentially entertaining. And 5.5 assists, Keontay George, third play of the day. And then before we jump into that fourth and final play, I do want to point out some of my partners. Obviously, the tools I've been using, Outlier, OddsJam, DG Fantasy, and RotoWire. I use them every single day. I would never promote something that I don't actually use or don't actually like or maybe don't even actually think works. But all of these are very good tools. They have so many data points to look at. And it's a good recipe for trying to put together plays, even if you're on your own and you're not watching my videos or maybe you want more plays or something like that. If you're someone that likes to look at this stuff and make your own plays, make your own decisions, these help so much. Again, they're all integrated with whatever platform you want to be betting on. And they're going to show you, the best plays at that certain point or maybe the best hit rates. You can say, okay, 2023, what are the hit rates? Obviously, it's early on in the season from last year. Things have changed, but you can go to, okay, 3 games this year, who's sitting at 100% hit rate? And you can start looking at those things. It's just a ton of value. And again, using my codes in the description down below, you're going to get access to a free week of Outlier. You're going to get discounts on your first month for OddsJam or DG Fantasy. And you're going to actually get 2 free days completely. You don't even have to put a credit card in for RotoWire if you want to check that out. If you're a fantasy guy, this also goes into hand in hand with that. They got a ton of fantasy tools as well. But another thing I want to look at is the value that you can get using different sports books. For instance, Underdog hasn't posted their boost over today, but they've been giving us not discounts, but boosts on every single play throughout the entire month of October. I bet they're going to do something for November as well, but they're doing like 60% profit boosts or things like that. They also have live lines, which you've been killing over in the Discord. Not a lot of these books have live lines. Betr and Underdog do actually have them, and you can get really good edges. Yesterday, I was looking at Jared Allen over 12.5 live betting his rebounds. He was at 12, and it was like the beginning of the fourth quarter. He ended with 15. It was like the easiest bet of my life. But yeah, they have live plays. They have discounts and things like that. And again, you don't have to use these every single day. You don't have to bet on Underdog every day. You don't have to bet on Betr every single day. But when they have discounts, when they got profit boosts and things like that, you better believe as someone that wants to be profitable, you got to be taking advantage of that stuff. Betr, for instance, is another one that has so much value. If this Keontay George line gets yanked off, which is probably going to do on PrizePicks, Betr is going to keep that line up for a little bit longer than PrizePicks does. They're a smaller company. They can't yank plays off as quickly as these other bigger companies can do, but they also don't do 0.5 or 0.0 lines, so you'll never see a 5.0 line, because if Keontay George gets bounced down, he'll probably go to a 5.0. Betr doesn't do that, so they keep them up a little bit longer, and the value you can get on Betr is absolutely insane. So my code's usually RichPicks. They change or differ on a couple different platforms, but you'll see all my sponsors down below: Betr, Underdog, PrizePicks, Sleeper, Chalkboard, Dabble, all my favorite plays, and I do post most plays for those in my Discord. So if you want to get a free month in my Discord, sign up using one of those codes. You're going to get a free month. You're going to get a deposit boost on any, or a deposit match on any of those platforms when you use my code, which is awesome. It's really a win-win-win situation because I get a little bit kicked back my way. Great way to support the channel. But again, you're going to get in the Discord. We have a ton of fun in here. People are always posting their ideas, their plays. We got some seasoned chefs in here that they know what they're doing, and they post really good plays. But you can also share your plays, ask questions. I'm in here all the time, and it's just a good time. Lastly, I do want to point out the PrizePicks math and Underdog math. If you're interested in, like, what do you need to do? Do you want to be doing 2-mans? Do you want to be doing 4-mans? Do you want to be doing 3-mans, for instance, on Underdog? Pays 6x rather than PrizePicks is 5x. I did just make this whole thing. It took a long time, and it kind of just lays out the math behind sports betting, specifically on PrizePicks, specifically on Underdog, and tells you like exactly what the target hit rate you need to get in order to be profitable if you were just doing 2-mans, if you were just doing 3-mans, if you were just doing 5-mans, and kind of a cool little thing there if you want to read a little bit more into it. But yeah, those are all the sponsors. Definitely check them out. It helps me out when you use my code. If you do use my code, definitely comment something down below. We'll get in touch. I'll get you that free time in the Discord, and we'd love to have you. We just continue to grow, and it's been a hell of a ride. So let's get into that last play. And this one's going to come in the last game of the day, so that 10 o'clock slot. Much later, you have plenty of time to get this one in. And it's going to be CJ McCollum over 8.5 rebounds and assists. Now, my last 5 Warriors, you're going to hate this line, but it's very similar to the Kyle Kuzma line yesterday. He hadn't hit it for the entire year in 2 or 3 games. This one is 3 games, but I did like the spot for him to get out of that. There's a reason that this is 8.5. If he's considering just the last 5 games into these equations, this would be at, 6 or whatever, 6.5. But it's at 8.5 for a reason. There's a couple injuries to talk about, and I'm liking this CJ line over 8.5 rebounds and assists. So going into last year, 63% hit rate. So I do love to see that. Couple games just creeping over this line. But again, the injuries are really what I'm looking at. 2024 hasn't hit it in this year at all. But DeJounte Murray goes down. Trey Murphy is not playing. He hasn't played the entire year. And in games last year without Trey Murray, obviously Trey Murphy and DeJounte Murray obviously wasn't here last year. 73% hit rate. So just has to, rebound the ball, assist the ball a little bit more, has a little bit more of the load on offense. And CJ, the point guard on this team, going up against Golden State. I don't know why it calls him a shooting guard, but he's the point guard of this team, especially with no DeJounte. Nice matchup here. Rebounds and assists allowed to Golden State. Love to see 19th and 24th ranked. And if we go to the games last year he played them, he cleared this in all 3 games, 11, 11, and 10. So really not even a sweat. It's not like he's just creeping over on these. So really liking CJ. Another one where all the data points pointing in the right direction. Going into Odds Jam, you can see the market value. Average sportsbook odds minus 130.3. I absolutely love to see that. It's actually not available on Betr or Underdog right now. So again, another one that potentially might get yanked off the board. And then again, you can kind of see it in a different method here, maybe more easy to read. 8.5, nice yellow line here, 53.49% chance to hit based on DG Fantasy. And then again, considering last year the hit rate goes into these projections for RotoWire, but they still like the over. Rebounds and assists, they're expecting 9.63. All we need is 9 for this one to cash. So a little bit later in the day, again, my last 5 Warriors, not going to love this CJ line, but I'm liking all 4 of these plays. Definitely feel free to add Anthony Edwards in there or whatever taco you're seeing when you're watching the video to get a nice 5-man. Those are one of the most profitable ways to do PrizePicks, 5 and 6 man, sometimes throwing some 4-mans and 2-mans. I do like to play, maybe my most confident plays, which probably on this one be Malik Monk and maybe Keontay, maybe in that same game, maybe CJ. I like them all today. So yeah, those are going to be the 4/5 plays if you count the taco for today. Only 4 games. Don't go too crazy, but really like what I'm seeing on the board right now. So that's going to do it for this one. Again, remember to hit the links in the description down below. Use my code to sign up for any of the PrizePicks, Underdog, Betr. Getting on different platforms is always advantageous. PrizePicks isn't the only thing to bet on. Sometimes PrizePicks has kind of crappy plays, but Underdog and Betr have really, really good plays. Sometimes it's vice versa. Being on multiple sportsbooks just makes you, advantageous to get on the discounts, the promotions that they're doing on all these different sportsbooks. And again, Taco Tuesday is great on PrizePicks, but these other sites give us discounts way, way more often. So definitely check those out. Sleeper and Chalkboard are other ones that I prefer. They're also kind of more like sportsbooks. So if you want to bet on lines that are heavily juiced on the over, more likely to hit, you can definitely do that. Or if you want to bet on lines that are, plus money plays that give bigger payouts that you're more confident in, you can do that over on those. Dabble's another one that I don't know to do too much just because it's not available in my state, but if it's available in your state, they have really, really good payouts and some lines that, again, shouldn't be on a fixed payout system like Dabble is. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Check out all those links. Definitely subscribe if you are new. Do me a favor, like the video if you got this far. Comment something down below. Again, tells YouTube to push this thing out a little bit more. And yeah, enjoy the games today. We got a little bit of sports going on, obviously World Series. I'll be ripping out plays, sending them out to the Discord. If you're interested in the Discord, definitely jump on board. You can use a link to sign up just using the Dub Club link and then connecting your Dub Club account to your Discord account, or plenty of ways to get in there for a free month, couple months actually, if you use my codes on multiple platforms. So definitely join us. We have a lot of fun. Again, that hit rate over for the year, I'll pull that up one more time to end this video. We've been killing it, 60.3 on the entire year for NBA. NBA is my most knowledgeable sport by far. I've been watching it for my entire life, and I know a lot of stuff going on, so that just gives me a little bit more of an edge just intuitively. But yeah, that's going to do it. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video, and have a good day. Almost Halloween, so happy Halloween in the next few days for us. So it's getting into the holiday season. We've got Christmas just around the corner. We're going to get discounts for Christmas, Thanksgiving, all these different kinds of things. So great time to sports bet. Obviously, a ton of sports going on. That just means more value to attack. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.